What is up, everybody? We are back on the Lasagna Show after a fantastic win against the Kansas City Royals. I don't know about you guys, but if I had to keep listening to that little kid say "Let's go Yankees," I was gonna bang my head off of this fucking desk until I was knocked out cold. I just couldn't. Could not do it anymore. Thank God Tim Hill came in and put the fucking fire out because I couldn't listen to those kids anymore, man. We were winning by 20 in the worst part of the game. It just was that little kid. But anyways, fantastic win. Way to pick things up after the Red Sox series, coming in off of a day off. Definitely a lot of things we'd like to see today. What is going on, chat? Kiro, what's up? Ray C, and it's annoying as fuck, but I applaud their perseverance. Those fucking kids' voices are better be gone tomorrow, or else they're superheroes. But what's up, everybody in the chat? Thank you guys for joining tonight. So hey, great win. Storyline before the game was Noah Cameron, this lefty rookie for the Kansas City Royals, came into the game with, I think, an 0.85 ERA or something like that. I think I tweeted out, who the hell is Noah Cameron? Who is this demon that we're facing tomorrow? Sometimes we struggle against lefties. He got an 0.85 ERA, small sample size, but, it was interesting to see who this guy was. He's got some good numbers to see if the hot Yankees offense can, keep things up. And they absolutely did. Thank you, Matthew, for reposting the stream, man. I appreciate you a ton. If you guys are watching on Twitter, go to my Twitter page, click the blue link in my bio, subscribe to the Lasagna Show, like this video. Let's have some fun this year. But Noah Cameron got greeted with a Aaron Judge home run. That was one of the most majestic blasts I think we've ever seen from him. Jeff Passan, the insider for ESPN, said it was the furthest ball he'd ever seen hit in Kansas City ever. I think in left field, it's that what do you call it? The Royals Hall of Fame or something like that. And behind that is like out of the stadium. They said this was like off the roof of the Royals Hall of Fame, and behind that there's nothing else. So I guess you can say Aaron Judge almost hit the ball out of the stadium, which is insane. A little bit of a fun fact here. That was almost 118 miles an hour off the bat, about 470 feet, which is crazy to me because I feel like a ball hit that far is got to be 500 fucking feet. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like by the time that thing lands, if there's nothing in front of it, you would think it'd be like 500 feet, but 469, 470, that's what they officially tracked it at. But absolutely insane. Aaron Judge is a freak of nature. And it was funny because they had a story about Aaron Judge about how, he's over here wanting to be more like Bobby Witt Jr., hitting for average, this and that. So for a guy to be that good and to constantly be thinking about ways to get better and better and better, the guy just won an MVP. He's hit 62 home runs in his career before. I mean, the guy's OPS was just stupid last year. One of the most dominant offensive seasons we've ever seen since Barry Bonds. Maybe the most prolific offensive season we've seen ever from a guy that didn't take steroids. And he's sitting there thinking, what can I do better? What can I do better? So he comes up with, let me hit for more average, like Bobby Witt Jr., and he takes an almost 400 batting average into June. The guy, Aaron Judge, is a freak of nature. Enjoy what you're watching while you can, because, guys pushing mid-30s, we're not going to get, 10 years of this guy from here on out. So, cherish what Aaron Judge is doing, appreciate it, enjoy it, and then hopefully we can get a ring and, put that to rest, and then, there won't be any more hate for Aaron Judge there. What's up, Emily? She's in the chat. Judge says he still isn't feeling right at the boxes, so could improve on the margins. It's true. They've been saying that since the beginning of the season. The guy's got like a 2,500 OPS and he's hitting like 900 for the year. And it's just absolutely absurd what Aaron Judge is doing. So definitely very, very fun to see him do these things. Right now he's at 396 with a 1267 OPS. He's got 24 home runs. He might be close to 30 or be at 30 or above at the All-Star break, which is just stupid every time I see that. So the guy is just special. Hitting 440 the last 7 games. Just absolute freak of nature. But let's go over some pitching really quick. So Max Fried is pitching today. Obviously he is our ace, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Had a little bit of a hiccup against the Dodgers, but other than that, he's been very, very solid. 1.84 ERA on the season. Goes 7 innings today. Only 2 earned runs and 4 strikeouts. The stuff looked really good. He was up to 97, 98 with that fastball and the sinker. Looked absolutely fantastic, as he always does. Pope Spanish, I see you in the chat. Yes, it's on YouTube. Go on to my Twitter bio, click the blue link. You can subscribe to the channel, and you can like this video as well. I much appreciate that. But yeah, Max Fried looks good. Max Fried doing Max Fried things. He looked fantastic. He only threw 91 pitches. He probably could have got another inning. Definitely could have possibly gone 8 if they really wanted to. But, he's got a little bit of an injury history, so you don't want to stretch Max Fried too much, especially when you have an 8-run lead. So, he held up his end of the bargain. He faced Caglione a few times and looked really good. He was pounding those 97-mile-an-hour sinkers into Caglione. That's just absolutely crazy. Welcome to the bigs, Jack. That's big league stuff right there. Max Fried looked calm. He looked composed. He looks in control. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is the best I've seen Max Fried throughout his whole career. He comes to, he in the National League, he faced the Dodgers a lot, especially in the playoffs. I used to see him here a lot when I'd go to games. And this is the best version of Max Fried I've ever seen, even when he was in the playoffs and he won that championship. So 9-1 record for Max. ERA is 1.84. He's thrown 88 innings to this point, 81 strikeouts. His whip is under 1. So, I mean, he's got to be a front runner for the Cy Young at this point, which is fantastic. Trying to bridge the gap to the end of the game there, got a little funky. De Los Santos, he's got a 2.16 ERA. I think he's one of our better middle relievers. I really didn't want to see him, get used in a game where they're up by so much, especially when they don't have another day off until the 26th. I really would rather have seen Hamilton maybe come in, just let him finish the whole game, even if he gives them 5 runs. Like, just go eat it, just so we wouldn't have to use multiple guys. De Los Santos didn't look sharp. Maybe he's had some time off and wasn't sharp because of that. Maybe it was a blowout and then the adrenaline wasn't the same. But he did walk 2 batters. His control isn't usually that great. 1.2 innings pitched, he gave up 3 hits. So not great. Had to go get Tim Hill. And Tim Hill comes out and he throws 6 pitches. So, 6 pitches isn't a lot, obviously. He could probably pitch again tomorrow. But, when a guy's warming up in the bullpen, you got to count those throws too. So Tim Hill's got to get up. He's got to start stretching. He's got to get loose. He's got to get warm. He's got to get his warm-up pitches in. Then he comes out to the game and throws his 6 pitches. So, every throw counts. The bullpen warming up stuff counts too. So, you really don't want to see them have to use 2 guys out of the pen going forward with a bullpen that's already been pretty taxed recently and is going to be taxed going forward with no days off for the next 16 days. So, a little irritating there, but, Yankees got through it. Tim Hill didn't have to throw that many pitches, so he should be fine. Going to this Yankees offense, though, can we talk about Austin Wells? Holy shit. People were dunking on Austin Wells for a while here the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks before that, maybe. He's been decent the last couple of weeks, but, of late, he has turned it up. Insane amount. What's up, Griff? I see you in the chat. What's up, Donnie? Thank you guys all for tuning in. I absolutely love when you guys are in here. Make sure you are sharing your thoughts and opinions in the chat. I will definitely be reading them as I'm going and talking about, different topics and stuff like that. I want to make this as interactive as possible and give you guys a voice as well. And it makes it really fun, to continue this talk. So definitely be sure to share your thoughts and opinions in the chat. But Austin Wells, man, he looks absolutely fantastic. I think this year he has five home runs against lefties so far in 62 at bats. So it's good that he's facing more lefties and he's doing damage. I think someone said he has reverse splits. I'd have to go look that up, but very good to see him facing lefties and doing damage. Entering this season, he had 72 at bats in his career against lefties, had 0 home runs. So the fact that he's got 62 at bats this year versus lefties and has 5 homers, whereas he had 0 coming into this season, it's absolutely fantastic. Austin Wells is getting that free run as the everyday primary catcher after he was splitting some time with Trevino in the past. He's one of those guys. We want to see him get free run. We want to see him hit. We want to see him get 500 at bats, maybe 500 plate appearances, and see what it's going to look like. Is it going to be 20 to 25 homers? Is he going to be a 210 hitter his whole career? Is he going to be a 250, 270 hitter? Where is he going to be in the order going forward? Is he a middle of the order bat? Is he a lower over the order bat? So I think we're seeing Wells get more playing time, and we're seeing some of those questions we had about him get answered. It's very exciting to watch. Griff says, why do I feel like the Yankees play their best baseball against 500 and above teams, but play average against below 500? It's one of those things, playing down to your competition. It happens a lot. Nobody gives a shit when I was playing, but when I was playing, I played on some really good teams, and we always got up for the good teams. And, it was a little bit less adrenaline, less drive, less attention to detail when you play a weaker team, because everyone just assumes you'll get by and kick the shit out of them. So, a little bit lack of focus there, but, playing down to their competition is kind of their thing. We're kind of used to it by now, but, the Royals are not great, but they're not bad, and they kicked the shit out of them today. So that's definitely good to see going forward for sure. Donnie says Lagrange is coming fast as well. Talking about some of the prospects, absolutely. Chris says Wells should be a permanent catcher for both Fried and Rodon. Absolutely. I think that's a very understated aspect of what Austin Wells is doing. Not only is he coming around with the bat, but he's earned the trust of a guy like Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. Max Fried talking about he's very comfortable throwing to him. He likes how he goes about doing pitch sequence calling, controlling the game. Mound visits are timed properly. So a lot of those little things go a long way with a catcher. And if he gets any offense out of it, it's even better. I mean, I think as of yesterday, he was top 3 in framing, top 6 overall in defense. So definitely the complete package with Austin Wells. We're seeing that bat start to come alive. So very exciting. Gina says, reposted the stream. Thank you so much, Gina. I love it when you're in here. I appreciate that a ton. Donnie says Rice can also catch if need be. You know, a game like today when it's a blowout and it's late in the game, you want to give Austin Wells a little bit of a break. That's when you can see a Ben Rice come in and get some work. I don't know if they love his, his defensive prowess back there overall. So I don't think he's going to catch that often, but it's good to see him get some reps back there just in case he's needed down the stretch. Let's see. Trey says he reposted the stream. Thank you so much, Trey. For those of you who are watching on Twitter, go to my Twitter account profile, click the blue link in my bio, subscribe to the channel, Lasagna Show, like this video, and I would love to see you guys in the chat going forward for the rest of the season. Mike says, I had a feeling we were going to lose 2 out of 3 this weekend because Boston is awful right now, and they don't bring it against bad teams. Same weaknesses as last year, but at least there's no bad teams in October. Yeah, that series, that was this previous Red Sox series was definitely a little bit of a downer there. But, you know, when it comes to rivalry series, especially against the Red Sox, those series are always crazy, no matter how bad the teams are. The crowd's into it. The players' adrenaline's pumping. You know, everyone wants to do well. They're on national TV often when that matchup happens. So you can never really predict what's going to happen in those series. So, you know, this weekend in Fenway, they're going to want to continue the 2 out of 3 series victory they had recently and continue that going forward in this weekend and start to make up some ground in the division there. So it's going to be another great, very entertaining series to watch, and I can't wait for it this weekend. But, you know, we got to take care of business against Kansas City first. Wilson, what is up, man? He says, I hope Jazz is okay and won't go back to the IL for that neck stiffness. Yeah, I think it was, we saw that video where he dove head first in the third after the steal, and I think Maikel Franco tagged him, a little bit aggressively, coming down on top of his head. Maybe tweak something in his neck or something. But he also had Jazz also had a swing towards the end of the game. I think he swung and missed with a breaking ball or something, and it looked like his hand came off the bat, and he looked, a little uncomfortable there. So, it could be one of those situations where he just got a little tight combination of 2 things. But overall, I think he should be okay. We'll see how he wakes up in the morning. If he's a little tight, they'll probably give him the day off, but I don't think it would be anything too concerning long term. Donnie says all the games were close. He says the Sox are going to trade Duran and probably Chapman. That would be crazy if they did. I mean, it's a long season. There's extended wild card now. You never know if a team goes on a run. So it'll be interesting to see how teams, see themselves, whether they're contenders or not, as we get closer to the All-Star break next month and then the trade deadline at the end of the month. But there's still a lot of baseball between now and then. We've seen the Rays and the Jays both making this division somewhat competitive, only back 4 now. So, and we're going to face them a lot next month. We're going to see a lot of the Blue Jays and a lot of the Rays. So they're definitely going to have their chances to take a crack at us. But the Yankees got to handle business. You got to beat the Royals, take care of Boston and going forward, and then, win the games that you can win when they're close. So a lot to look forward to in terms of the Yankees, taking care of business and extending this lead they have in the division. But back to Austin Wells, he looks fantastic. I think he's on pace for, I think someone said 25 homers and 90 RBIs, something we haven't really seen from a catcher since Jorge Posada. So, I mean, and Posada got a bad reputation for his defense. He wasn't the best defender out there. He had a pretty good arm. He was mostly known as an offensive catcher. So if we can have an offensive catcher who actually plays really good defense, has a good arm, good at framing, good at drop and block, good at all those things, takes care of the pitchers. I mean, Austin Wells could be a top 5 catcher in the whole league. He might already be one right now. So very exciting to see some of these young guys kind of blossom and become what we expected them to be going forward. So very exciting there. And this offense in general. So in 2024, in 162 games, they had a 5-run inning 15 times. 5 runs or better 15 times. This season in 2025, they've already done it 16 times in 65 games. So last season, 162 games, they had 5+ runs in an inning, only 15 times. This year, they've done it already in 65 games. They've done it 16 times. So that's a testament to, better situational hitting, a deeper, more balanced lineup from top to bottom, hitting mistakes, hitting, runners in scoring position with 2 outs, all those kind of things um, lead up to a 5-run inning. And of course, Aaron Judge being a freak of nature, cyborg, alien that he is, crushing baseballs. He's definitely contributed to some of those innings as well. So when you got a guy like that, hitting 4 times a game, it's going to be a good time to get on base and put a cricket number up. And this offense has been phenomenal. Going back to another young player, Jason Dominguez, he's got a bad reputation for not hitting well off of lefties. Right-handed today against lefties, he had 3 hits. So it's phenomenal to see. And who would have thought if you let a guy face lefties, Austin Wells facing lefties more, they get better at hitting them. Isn't that a crazy concept? Get him out there, get him hitting right-handed, let him face lefties, let him get accustomed to it, let him get comfortable, let him start to figure things out because he needs the reps. Dominguez is 22 years old. He's pretty young still. So, let him get those reps against lefties so he can get better at it. We've already seen Austin Wells doing damage against lefties where he came into the season with no success against them and very limited opportunities. So, great to see Jason get 3 hits right-handed. His OPS is now up to 742. So Jason Dominguez is I think he's exceeding expectations based on how he was playing earlier in the season. Some people are down on his defense. Maybe he's a platoon player, not getting a ton of run with Grisham hitting well, and then you got Bellinger and Judge outfield, kind of a log jam. So a lot of people thought Jason Dominguez was the odd man out due to his defense, but he's held up his end of the bargain. He's got 6 homers and 25 RBIs. I think he will be a 25-ish homer guy or better in his prime. But it's great to see a 22-year-old getting a little bit of run here. He has a 742 OPS. He's contributing. Splits are a little crazy with him being mostly a left-handed hitter. That's where all the success comes from. But he is coming around a little bit from the right side. Hill says, I reposted the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a ton. Bernard says, I don't think the Yankees should wait until the end of the deadline to acquire a solid bullpen arm. They need it now, so do it now. It's kind of tricky because a lot of teams right now, outside of the Rockies and some teams that are completely buried in the standings and have no chance. But we just don't know what the market's going to be in a month. The Rockies could field better offers from other teams. They might want to wait. The Yankees could call and say, hey, we'll give you so-and-so and this and that. And the Rockies might be, we'll wait till the end of July and see if we get a better offer. So the timing is definitely interesting. The Yankees might have to overpay a little bit if they come aggressively before the deadline. So it'll be interesting to see if, they knock on some doors, make some phone calls and see what's available out there. But, some of those fringe teams that don't know if they're contenders yet or don't know if they're pretenders, probably going to hold out and see what the wild card looks like towards the end of July and see if they're going to be a team that needs to offload some talent or if they're a team that's going to need to keep some guys in house and thinks that they can make a run. So definitely interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm going to scroll up a little bit because I missed a couple of comments there. Chris says Jason needs to be an everyday player next season. Absolutely, I agree 1,000%. It depends what happens with Bellinger, though, because Bellinger could come back and maybe play first base or maybe he stays in the outfield. But then you got Ben Rice, who's probably going to play first. It's going to be interesting to see how the Yankees figure that whole thing out. Ray C says, we concerned that Volpe has been hitting way too many worm burners the last couple of games. No, I'm not concerned with Volpe at all. He had 2 hits today. So I'm definitely not going to frown when he's getting base knocks. He's hitting 294 in his last 15 games. And overall, he's got a 776 OPS, which is, phenomenal for him. We haven't seen a full season of Volpe with a 700 OPS or better yet. So the fact that he's 70 points above 700 at this point, getting into June, we hope that continues through July, August, September. But he's trending in the right direction. There really has been no sign of him slowing down from this pace that he set offensively. So the last 30 games, he's got an OPS pushing 800. So I don't see any reason for concern. I think he's a guy that's going to, he's got to utilize his feet. If you got a guy with speed and he's popping the ball up all the time, it does you no good. If you're hitting the ball hard on the ground, sometimes they can get through the infield, utilize his legs. I definitely like to see that. And I like to see him shorten up with 2 strikes and going the other way. I think the best version of Anthony Volpe is when he's willing to go oppo and he's not trying to pull everything for power. I think he had an opposite field hit today. I can't remember the other hit, but a lot of positive signs to see from Anthony Volpe going forward. And if you remember, I did tweet during that Angels game If Volpe came through in that moment, I wouldn't say a single bad thing about him for the rest of the season. And he came through. So I'm not going to, even if he's shitty, you're not going to hear it from me. So I got to stand by my word there. Let's see. Bernard says get a good arm from one of those teams. Absolutely. I think the Rockies got a couple. So it depends on if they're willing to do business. Someone said yesterday the Rockies usually don't trade much at the deadline. So hopefully they change that approach that they've been doing recently. Yankee Great says balls Judge hit the top of the roof of the Royals Hall of Fame, almost went completely out of the stadium. Botanis on postgame said he's seen a ball hit that he's never seen a ball hit that far. It was crazy. I mean, that's a ballpark where a lot of guys don't really hit for power that much, but there's no ballpark that can hold Aaron Judge when he gets a full swing off and makes good contact. So definitely a place where he's going to continue to hit homers, and we saw that today. Bernard says if we don't, it will cost us games 100%. If we don't add a bullpen arm, I agree, especially because they're a little spent. Ray says good points of Volpe. Thank you, man. Yeah, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it 100 with Volpe, man. I can't be sitting here and it's not just because I vowed not to say negative things. I gotta give credit where credit's due. The guy's hitting the damn ball, so I gotta tip my cap there. Yankee Grace says even in a blowout, goes the same guys with the bullpen overused for a reason. Yeah, I would love to have seen just one guy finish that off. Ian Hamilton, maybe a guy that's not going to get a lot of high leverage going forward because he's been struggling. Put him out there with an 8-run lead and say, go finish the game, buddy. Throw the ball down the middle, see how far they can hit it. If he gets up 6 runs, I don't give a shit. Like, just save the pen. But, they had to use 2 guys, and it's really irritating. Donnie says Chris the Martian is the future leadoff hitter. That'd be great. He's got speed. He's got contact. Definitely would like to see that if he can hit lefties a little bit better. Logan says, I really want Jake Bird. Yeah, I was looking at some video of him the other day. That sidearm delivery slider is fantastic. His stuff plays. So I think it's, especially if you're doing that in Colorado where the ball doesn't break as much. If you're a breaking ball guy in Colorado and you're still getting by with good numbers, that's definitely a guy I think the Yankees should take a really good look at. But a lot of teams are going to want him. They're going to get a lot of calls for Jake Bird. So it's going to be one of those situations. Who's got the best offer? What are the Yankees willing to give up? What prospects are they willing to cut ties with to get an arm like that to bolster that bullpen? So going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Bernard says Volpe 6th in RBIs as shortstop in Major League Baseball. Yeah, he's driving the ball, man. His situational hitting has been good. He has been shortening up with 2 strikes, which I love to see, going the other way. Taking what the pitcher gives him, not trying to pull a ball on the outside part of the plate. Not trying to swing out of his ass and be, some crazy power hitter that he wants to be. Take what the pitcher gives you, flip it the other way, seeing I single every now and then and live to see another at bat. I'd love to see that from him. I think he leads the Yankees in doubles as well, so that's phenomenal. Let's see. Yankees Great says 2 kids ran to the ball that was hit, threw their arms up and saying we're a no-go. It was up for the Judge homer. I don't know. Not sure what you're referencing there. But going back to the offense, a guy who has been drinking from the Paul Goldfish, fountain of youth, per se, is DJ LeMahieu. Holy shit. What has gotten into this guy? 2 more hits today and 3 at-bats. He had 2 walks. His average is up to 277, 765 OPS. That was not a mistake, boys and girls. 765 OPS for DJ LeMahieu right now. That is crazy. League average right now, I think it's like 710, roughly, give or take. So he is far above average at this point for what he's been doing since he's got back. Last 7 games, DJ LeMahieu's hitting 435 with an OPS of almost 1100. Absolute insanity what we're seeing from him right now. Obviously, it's probably not going to be, the trend going forward. He's not going to hit 435 the rest of the season. But DJ LeMahieu has come in looking healthy. He's looking athletic. He's looking spry. He looks balanced at the plate. Looks like his feet are under him. So those lower half injuries in the past were definitely hampering his ability for sure. And he looks fresh and revitalized, and he looks like a guy who can contribute to the major league level, which is all I asked for. You can see some of my previous shows, and you can also see from some of my tweets. I said, if DJ can just be a single slap guy, just slap a few singles here and there, keep the ball rolling, keep getting through the lineup, keep turning it over. That's all I wanted from him. So if he's going to hit for power, if he's going to hit for a high OPS, if he's going to continue to play good defense like this at second base, they might not need to go look for a middle infielder at the deadline, other than maybe a bench option. So if DJ can continue this, it's going to be absolutely crazy because I don't think anybody saw this outside of DJ La MVP, my friend Joey on Twitter, who's the number one DJ fan there. But Bernard, my friend Bernard, you can see him in the chat as well. He definitely likes DJ as well. So there are some DJ fans out there, but I'd say 95% of the fan base did not expect to see what DJ is doing right now. So we very much continue to hope that it continues and he stays healthy and could be a contributor because that's what this team needs. It needs depth. If you look at this lineup right now, you have more above average OPSs from top to bottom than I've seen. And I can't even remember last time I've seen a lineup this balanced. You got Paul Goldschmidt, 825. You have Grisham, 831. Aaron Judge, 1267. Cody Bellinger, 781. Volpe, 776. Chisholm, 770. Dominguez, 742. LeMahieu, 765. Wells, 770. Rice, 821. That's absurd. Like this lineup is deep. They're hitting mistakes. They're hitting with runners on base. They're hitting with 2 outs. They're situational hitting. They're doing everything you want to see from an offense. And from top to bottom, this is one of the most balanced Yankees offense I can remember in a long time. So definitely something we want to see continue throughout the rest of the season. Obviously, there will be some regression as we've seen with Paul Goldschmidt and Trent Grisham. They're not going to, Paul Goldschmidt's not going to hit 375 the rest of the season off lefties. Trent Grisham was never going to maintain a 1,000 OPS, going throughout the rest of the season. So he's come back down to earth a little bit, but Trent Grisham, again, had 2 hits today. Paul Goldschmidt had a hit. So, as long as these guys can tread water a little bit as they're coming down from their absurd starts, that's all I want to see. We don't have to see them doing absolutely insane stuff for the rest of the season. If Trent Grisham can be a serviceable, slightly above average, fourth outfielder, that's fantastic. If Paul Goldschmidt can maintain an OPS over 750 for the whole season, that's phenomenal. That's so much more production than we were getting from Anthony Rizzo last season. And Trent Grisham, he wasn't designed to be hitting second all season, but he's shown a lot this season in terms of how much he has left in the tank. And as a everyday baseball player, he was kind of relegated to the bench, wasn't getting a ton of play time, but you can't sit the guy if he's going to continue to hit. So they've got a great rotation. He plays great defense. It's going to be nice to see Trent Grisham see if he can maintain this, and he might even be in some all-star conversations as a reserve. So there's a few people out there, myself included, that think he might get a look there. But Bernard says he loves DJ. Absolutely. Chris says, do you think Yarbrough can continue to success despite being an off-speed pitcher? Yeah, he's, so major league pitchers, you either want to be throwing above hitting speed, guys that throw like 97 plus, or you want to be below hitting speed, guys like Yarbrough who throw like 88. When you're right in the middle, like 92, 93, you're going to get absolutely smoked. But, he's a lefty. He works that cutter inside on right-handers to keep him guessing. He works that changeup down and away from right-handers as well. So, he's got a good mix. He got hammered against the Red Sox. It was going to happen. He wasn't going to maintain the pace that he had set earlier with his previous very successful starts before that. But, he's a serviceable guy. And even if he comes out of the rotation, he goes to the bullpen, he can be a good long man. He can be a matchups guy. He can bridge the gap sometimes for maybe a short start to the back of the bullpen. So he's a very valuable and versatile option there in the rotation. And I absolutely love that we have him. The Blue Jays let him go, and the Blue Jays are breathing down our neck right now. So, maybe they're reconsidering what they did to get rid of him. Bernard says, DJ says first time in 3 years felt fully healthy, and it looks like it too. Let's see. Bernard says we need 2 bullpen arms too. Yeah, and with Jake Cousins, the unfortunate news today, Bernard was the one who sent me the link because I wasn't paying attention. Tough to lose Jake Cousins there, man. He's going to go get his elbow looked at. When you got a guy that throws so many sliders, eventually the elbow is going to pop. It's a ticking time bomb. It's one of those pitches where it puts a lot of torque and a lot of stress on your elbow. I would know personally because I was a heavy slider guy and I threw it almost every pitch. And my elbow at some point was like, chill out, bro. We're going to be getting cut open. So it's tough, man. I hope Cousins doesn't need Tommy John, but it doesn't surprise me. Heavy slider guy has elbow issues. He was kind of a guy that we were looking forward to getting back, adding some much needed quality stuff to the setup role there. I know he throws like a 95, 96 mile an hour 2-seamer. The slider was just absolutely ridiculous from that little sidearm kind of angle he's got there. But with him not coming back now, it's gonna put a lot of stress on the Yankees at the break to go get some impact arms. You got to kind of rebuild this back of the bullpen. You're going to get Luke Weaver back, which is going to help a lot. But this middle to back end of the bullpen is it's not great. So they got some work to do. Hopefully the guys that are here don't get overly taxed before the break and pitch even worse than they have recently. And we can tread water a little bit there. But getting to the playoffs, it's all about matchups. You got to have strong relievers coming in to face really good hitters in key moments. And there's not a whole lot of guys in this bullpen right now that you can trust to do that. So, going to be interesting to see who's available, what the Yankees are willing to part with, and see where they go from here. So, very interesting at the break. We will be watching very closely. Mike says, and let's not forget, Grish was Barry Bonds for the 5 minutes. A lot of other guys were getting a slow start. It was a big lift early on. Absolutely. Like when Bellinger was struggling, it hurt a little bit less because Trent Grisham was, basically Barry Bonds there. So nice to see some guys that you don't expect to go off and make up for some of your big guys struggling a little bit. Mike also says that would have been awesome, Donnie, but odds are he would come back down to earth like he did. Trent Grisham. Yeah, I mean, he was never going to have a 1,000 OPS for the whole season, but it was nice while he had it, and it was a fun ride. So definitely a good time there. But all right, guys, overall 10 runs on 16 hits against KC today. Tomorrow the Yankees will get Bubic, who is 5-3 with a 1.43 ERA. He's thrown 75 innings and has 79 Ks, so more strikeouts than innings pitched. He has a whip at 1, which is really good. ERA 1.43. So we're going to get another guy coming in here from the left side with pretty solid numbers. Let's see if the Yankees can rough him up a little bit and make those numbers a little more ugly. That would be very interesting and exciting to see. But he, in his last start, what's his last start? Let's see, June 1st against Detroit. Detroit's a good team. He went 7 innings, only 1 run and 9 Ks. So Yankees, I think, have a much better offense than Detroit. It'll be a good test for the offense again tomorrow. They responded today against Noah. What the hell was that guy's last name? Noah Cameron. There you go. They hit Noah Cameron and they smoked him and set the tone early with an Aaron Judge homer. So they can do it tomorrow against Bubic and make him pay. So real quick, guys, for those of you who are on Twitter, please hit the like button. Go to my YouTube, go to my Twitter page, click the blue link in my bio, like this video, subscribe to the Lasagna Show. We're going to be doing this Monday through Thursday, all season long, all through the regular season, all through the playoffs, and I would love to have you guys here along the ride. I'm working on some things behind the scenes to make this more interactive, digging into possibly allowing calls. Yesterday, I had one of my Twitter friends come on the show himself. So it'd be nice to have some of you guys, if you want to message me, if you want to come on the show and you want to talk some Yankees baseball, if you got some really fiery takes and you're, excited to come on here and chat, definitely send me a message and we'll get you on here as well. Want to make this as interactive as possible and have a great time and give people a voice, not only on Twitter, but on YouTube as well. So it's a slow build. We've only been doing this for about a month and a half. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep plugging along and enjoying some Yankees baseball together. But great having you guys all in here. The chat was amazing today. Very interactive. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Hopefully the Yankees kick Chris Bubic's ass, just like they kicked Noah today. And I look forward to being back in here same time tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. It was fun chatting with you, and go Yankees.